Well, guess it's time to start getting the carburetor ready to put on that square body. We're gonna probably put some rings and pistons back in that thing tomorrow. So got the new intake manifold ready to go on, so need to get a carburetor ready. I'm not an expert on carburetors. Like I've said on my other videos, if you're looking for a how-to, I'm probably not the guy to watch. I just kind of hack my way through it, but I do manage to make some things happen now and then. So I'm not pretty, but I get some things done anyway. Yes, carburetors, first thing is, like anything, if you know what you're doing, it's a lot easier. For example, when you're buying a used one, if you know what you're looking at, it can prevent you from getting yourself into a lot of headaches and running into problems. With this one, we bought it with a bunch of other stuff, so we're not really worried about the price on it. We're fine on it. But if I was just looking to buy a carburetor to fix, this probably wouldn't have been the one, depending on the price, of course. But just for example, right off the bat, the needle valves and the set screw are missing. It's missing the float bowl sight cover screw. That needle valve is like threaded all the way down in, so that's going to mean that float is probably like pegged out to the bottom, so no fuel would have been getting in back there. Or up there, I guess. Just things like that. It's missing a couple screws on the bottom plate or bolts. It's missing 2 of the 4 for the pump housing. So just things like that that would make you wonder. It's been torn apart, obviously. So anyway, just stuff that would make you think twice about buying this particular carburetor. So I guess we'll tear it apart and see what we're getting. The screws are not in tight. At least that one is not tight. Alright, so I guess just some, if you've worked around vehicles at all, some common sense stuff. Use the biggest screwdriver you can use that fits to keep from tearing up your screws, things like that. This has been apart. We have a aftermarket, at least to me, I'm used to these having like gold aluminum ones, so we've got a plastic float in there. It looks okay, should do the job, but it was replaced for a reason. This side's loose also, or at least that one is loose. That one's a little tighter. Probably a good idea when you're working on these to have some kind of a containment for all your parts, like I do. Just have an old pan. Makes it easy to keep things, keeps them from falling on the floor. My cat's laying there watching me. Sometimes she likes to take my parts. She hasn't done that for a while. She used to take things my parts I had laying down here in the basement. She'd take them upstairs, and she would take things from my table upstairs and bring them down here and swap them out on me just to make my life interesting, I guess. Yeah, that's like pegged to the bottom, so I'm not sure what the deal was with that. Let's go ahead and pull the jets out, see what we're dealing with there. Alright, it's 72. I believe that's the stock, the standard, what they come with. That's a vacuum secondary. We're putting it on, it's basically going to be pretty much a bone stock 350. So, I've been thinking about maybe getting a size down on the jets, go with some 70s or something. I don't know, I'll have to look into how effective that is or not. But we don't need 750 cubic feet per minute for what we're building. But it'll be nice to have later, because I'm sure that as we go, you know, at some point that engine's going to get souped up a little bit. It says miss a couple screws on that throttle plate, so we know that it's been off before. Just an idea, when you order the replacement parts for these things, they add up pretty fast. My son likes to pick on me because I have a tendency to like to buy old things and fix them up, as obvious from the projects that you've seen on the videos. And he jokes with me that I'd be better off to just pay the price for something new. I'd save money and aggravation in the long run. But like with this, you know, you pick up some needle valves, you pick up, you know, some the screws that are missing, and the float bowl sight screw, things like that. I mean, it turned into a rebuild kit. It turned into $75 pretty quick. So, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it's just, you know, if you we got a cricket in there, so that's a bonus. All right. It's just good to know that you're going to have to spend that money ahead of time if you know. So if you have some knowledge about what you're buying, or you know, at least you can before you go make your purchase, that'll be a good thing. I don't believe that rebuild kit came with a new diaphragm to fit in that secondary diaphragm housing. You know what, I'm not even going to loosen it up since we didn't get that diaphragm on. Don't want to take that off. I'll take that apart. It felt okay just pushing on it, and we'll get a better idea once it's off of here. gasket or an O-ring in there between this and the main throttle body that we can replace. Hope it came with that. I'm wasting my time here. Another third one's to it. Figure out how to do the fast forward thing on those videos. Y'all don't want to watch me take out all these screws, I don't imagine. And I hope I can figure out how to put this back together. That might be a challenge for me. There's an O-ring on this diaphragm housing that seals it to the main body. Then it draws vacuum. When it draws vacuum, it's going to pull up on the rod, which is going to activate the rear secondaries. Just to check, make sure that diaphragm's good. Just plug it. And you can see that it's holding the rod up. It's not leaking. So we know that it's good. If that was bad, then we would have to order a replacement diaphragm to put in there. I just need to pull out the accelerator pump squirter here. So we got a needle valve in there. It just acts like a check valve. And the gaskets. And the squirter. Looks like those might be clogged. Just general noticing some things here. These front orifices definitely clogged. That looks like it might be clogged. Got a bad gasket there on the metering block. The gasket between the body and the plates had some crack spots. Something was torn. Something was torn somewhere when I took it. Yeah, there it is. Saw that when I took it apart. Missing there. So it's definitely, it could definitely use the rebuild, and it's just filthy. So let me get this metering plate off, or excuse me, the metering block. Okay. I guess the gasket's just. Probably should have left it alone. That gasket might actually have been doing its job still. Alright. There we go. Yeah, that one's on there. Alright. Suppose I should pull off the secondary metering plate too. have a screw head for this somewhere, but not with me at this second, but this will work just fine. Again, not expecting to see anything in here. We're just going to change out some gaskets. I'm sure it's going to be the stock plate, and I don't know enough about what we're building here to go trying to change numbers from the stock. I mean, it's just for the secondaries, so whatever it is what we're going to go with. We'll just change out, put some new gaskets in there. I know you can replace these with metering plates where you can actually put in specific size nozzles and change them out. We're not going to get that high tech. Again, that one's on there pretty solid. Might be smart to leave it alone, but that's not the way I roll. Get that out off camera. I don't want to break something in front of y'all. Alright, we got that rear metering plate off. Wasn't a big deal, just had to pry it. Again, that gasket's on there pretty solidly, so we'll have to scrape it off. Did have some damage there. I'm not sure that happened when I was trying to get it off or not. Remove the power valve. The rebuild kit comes with a new one. Just want to get out anything that has rubber or a diaphragm in it before I start cleaning real heavy. So we'll remove the accelerator pump. I was already missing 2 of the screws, and I took another one so I could size it when I went to buy the replacements or buy the missing ones. So we'll take that off. And pretty sure it came with the new one in the rebuild kit, and it feels kind of brittle. Alright, and we got the spring. Alright, we got that needle valve assembly out of there. I was a little worried that it was going to be stripped out here in the housing, but trying a new one in, it looks like it's going to be a nice fit, so we're okay. Alright, well, we're going to clean it all up. I've got some guitar strings I'm going to use to run through all these orifices, clean those out, drench it down good with carb cleaner, get all these gasket areas cleaned up, and then we'll be back. I said guitar strings because I happen to have guitar strings laying around here. You can use anything small that'll run through those holes. Some people will use just a nylon bristle from a brush or a broom or something that's small enough. As handy as like bread wrappers that have the little metal wire running through. You can pull that wire out. Maybe you have to double that up. Just anything that's thin enough and flexible enough, but yet has some rigidity to it that's not going to fall apart in there.